Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the most complete spoken English course on YouTube, where you learn English without boring grammar, without textbooks, and without stress. Here, you learn by listening to real-life stories and answering simple questions that will boost your fluency. Today's story is called The Teacher Who Lost Control in Class. Let's begin. It was Monday morning, and Mr. James, a primary school teacher, walked into his classroom with a smile on his face. He was ready to teach a lesson about animals. The students, however, were full of energy. They were shouting, laughing, and throwing paper balls across the room. Mr. James clapped his hands and said, "Okay, everyone, let's begin." But no one listened. One student, Max, was standing on a chair. Another student, Lily, was drawing on the whiteboard. Mr. James tried again. "Please sit down and open your books to page 12. Still, no one obeyed. His smile slowly disappeared. He raised his voice. "Sit down, now." But the class only got louder. Max started singing a silly song, and the rest of the students joined him. Mr. James felt his face turning red. His hands were shaking. He had never felt so frustrated. He walked to his desk, took a deep breath, and shouted, "Enough!" The classroom became silent. Every student looked at him. In that moment, Mr. James realized something. He had lost control of the class, not because the students were bad, but because he was trying to control the chaos with anger instead of calm. He picked up his book and said in a quiet voice, "If you're ready to learn, I'll be here. But if you want to continue shouting, I'll wait." One by one, the students slowly sat down. Max got off the chair. Lily stopped drawing. The room became calm again. Mr. James smiled, a real, tired smile this time, and started the lesson. He didn't lose control again that day, and neither did the students. Now it's time for your quiz. Let's test how much you understood from the story. Remember, answer out loud, and you have 5 seconds to respond after each question. Ready? Let's go. What day of the week was it when the story began? The story began on a Monday morning when Mr. James entered the classroom with a smile and a positive attitude, ready to teach his lesson. What subject was Mr. James planning to teach? Mr. James was planning to teach a lesson about animals, which he had prepared in advance to share with his energetic primary school students. What were the students doing when he entered the class? Mr. James walked into the room. The students were out of control. They were shouting, laughing loudly, and throwing paper balls all over the classroom. Which student was standing on a chair? The student named Max was the one standing on a chair, completely ignoring the teacher's instructions and contributing to the noisy chaos. What was Lily doing? Lily, another student in the classroom, was at the front drawing on the whiteboard instead of sitting at her desk and getting ready for class. What page did Mr. James ask the students to open? Mr. James asked the students to open their books to page 12, hoping to begin the lesson about animals, but no one paid attention. How did Mr. James feel when the students didn't listen? Mr. James felt extremely frustrated and overwhelmed when his students ignored him. His smile disappeared, his hands started shaking, and he began to raise his voice in anger. What did Mr. James do after shouting, "Enough"? After shouting, "Enough," to try to stop the chaos, Mr. James paused, took a deep breath, and calmly told the class that he would wait for them to be ready to learn, instead of trying to force them. What did the students do after Mr. James calmed down? The students slowly began to respond to Mr. James's calm tone. Max stepped down from the chair, Lily stopped drawing, and everyone returned to their seats in silence. Did Mr. James lose control again that day? No, Mr. James did not lose control again that day. After using patience and calm words, he regained the students' attention and respect, and the class continued peacefully. Great job! Even if you didn't get all the answers, remember, the goal is to practice speaking and listening. Now let's go over some vocabulary from today's story. Let's take a closer look at some key words and expressions from the story. Lost control. This expression means that someone is no longer able to manage or handle a situation. For example, he lost control of the car means the driver could no longer steer or stop the vehicle safely. Obey. This verb means to follow instructions or do what someone asks you to do. For example, the dog obeyed its owner means the dog listened and followed commands. Frustrated. When someone feels upset or annoyed because things are not going well, they feel frustrated. For example, she was frustrated with the noisy room because she couldn't concentrate. Clapped his hands. This means to hit both hands together to make a sound, often to get attention. For example, the teacher clapped his hands to get silence in the classroom. Take a deep breath. This is something people do when they want to calm down. For example, he took a deep breath before speaking to the class to control his nerves. Chaos. This word means complete confusion or disorder. For example, there was chaos in the classroom when no one was listening and everyone was yelling. Shaking hands. When your hands move because of nerves or strong emotions like fear or anger, they are shaking. For example, my hands were shaking before giving my first public speech. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. You are doing something amazing by learning English with stories. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends so more people can enjoy these stories and learn English the easy way. This is Docentes DigitalesTV, where you learn to speak English fast, easy, and with confidence. See you in the next video.